Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode number 7 of Wisdom TV, the podcast dedicated to the exposure of the creative individual. My name is Wisdom, and I am your dedicated host, on-air personality, and the mastermind behind the whole Wisdom TV experience. And tonight, I'm going to be bringing to you some beautiful content that I know you'll love and enjoy. I've got two gentlemen coming to you from two opposite sides of the world, and their music is amazing. And also, I've got a visual experience coming to you from a gentleman called Doc Guava, and he's here in Houston, Texas. That is where this podcast is coming to you guys. I'm going to be doing some very, very close work with this gentleman here in the near future, and I'm very excited about it. Thanks, bro, for the visual experience tonight on episode number 7, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the near future. So these two gentlemen that I'm bringing to you tonight, the first guy, his name is IndescribableINDY, and he is out in Las Vegas. So let's go ahead and push these levels up and show you this music, and then we'll be right back with Wisdom TV. Alright, everyone, welcome back. That song there was called Almond Butter, and it's off of IndescribableINDY's EP called Evvereewhur. And this EP contains 7 loops, but they are lovely, lovely tracks, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to enjoy it. I'm going to be playing the rest of it here on this episode, but if you guys want to hear them in full without my voice, then go ahead and navigate on over to Bandcamp and either purchase it, stream it, whatever you guys do. Also, it's on Spotify for streaming, so if you want to check it out over on Spotify, then go ahead and do that and get those streams up. So let's get into IndescribableINDY. Like I said, this guy is from Las Vegas, and he is 20 years young. So this guy has been at it for about 6 years now, and it's been a good year since he's been taking it very, very seriously. And I went ahead and asked him what it was exactly that got him into beat making, and he said that his older brother was cleaning his room many, many moons ago, and he found an M Audio MIDI controller and decided to pass it along to him because he didn't want to get rid of it. And at first, he was kind of confused, like, what am I gonna do with this exactly? Not really sure what it was, but his brother went ahead and put him on Reason 4 like a month later on the laptop, and got him off of playing video games and into making beats. And until this day, he says that he owns that MIDI controller, and he's very, very grateful that he gave up a lot of shit to pursue his music career. So it wasn't until the age of 16 that this guy got into sampling, and around 2016 is when he bought his first SP404. I went ahead and asked him what his creative process was like, and he says that he goes crate digging when he has the money. He'll go and buy about 10, 15 records at a time and bring them home and just listen to them patiently. At times he'll go e-digging on the internet, which is really common nowadays. I usually sample my stuff off of the internet as well, but there's just something about going to the vinyl store and just like crate digging and feeling the actual copy of the record in your hands, you know what I mean? And you have this whole like intimate experience whenever you spin the record and try to find the exact sample that you really want or whatever. I really need an SP, man. Like, that would be really cool if I had one of those. I've mentioned in a previous video that I really like the effects processing, and you know, shit, I'd probably be able to do some live shows with it sometime. Well, back to Indescribable Indie. He says that he has sampled off of the radio twice long ago, but can't really remember what it was that he caught. He did say that he caught some Missy Elliott ad-libs one time, which was pretty cool. And he has a Korg mini log that he sometimes does bass lines and synth work with, and he'll run those sounds into the SP and tweak the shit out of them. I've been listening to his music a lot lately, and I've been listening to his synth work, and I really dig it. So moving along to some of his main musical influences, this is gonna consist of Madlib and Dilla, No Doubt, and lately he's been listening to DiBiase, Swarvy, Devin Who, Sam I Am, Mind Design, and Eloquent. These guys are probably some of my inspirations as well. I really love these guys. Eloquent, I haven't really listened to his music lately, but I'm gonna go check him out. So as far as new music goes, he is working on a project that consists of loops and flip verses, kind of like Knowledge and Mind Design. Then he has an LP that he's working on releasing that has no title, and he's gonna be releasing the album through an independent label called 100 Acres. So that should be really interesting, and I'm really looking forward to that. His solo instrumental album will be on all streaming platforms, and both projects will be on Bandcamp. But this physical release will be put on the streaming platforms as well. I went ahead and asked him what exactly he does outside of the music, and he says that he's a fry cook over at a cheesecake factory in Las Vegas. On his days off, when he's not making music, he'll go out and take his camera, shoot things that catch his eye, or go out and try new food spots. He says he's really big on the food, and the beats and food are two things that he's very, very passionate about. As far as the food goes, he says that he's highly, highly intrigued, and he looks forward to one day having his own spot where he's gonna play some tunes and just have a really cool environment for everybody to just hang out and have some grub. So I think that's about it for this segment on Indescribable Indie. He has some advice for the youth. Do what you want to do and try new things. Never be a yes man. In this hip hop game, just be yourself at the end of the day. And he wants to shout out Liam Lizzy for spreading the word, and he just wants to show some love. So Liam, if you're listening, we love and appreciate you, bro. Shout out and love to Indescribable Indie for letting me interview him and have a little segment here on the podcast. I appreciate you, bro, and stay tuned for this next gentleman coming up right now. This guy is Dwyer, and he is from Brighton, UK. Let's go ahead and push these levels up. Alright everyone, welcome back from that lovely trip supplied to you by the man known as Dwyer. This guy is out in Brighton, South England, and this song is off of his Night Swim album. It's called Did You Get That on Tape? So getting into this guy, he has been doing music for about 3.5 years now, and it's so unbelievable that this guy has barely been doing this for 3.5 years. His sound just seems way more evolved than that. So I assumed that this gentleman has been into music his entire life, but he says not really. He tried to pick up drums at the age of 10 and enjoyed it self-taught until he had his first lesson where his tutor told him he was doing everything wrong, and he kind of just got put off. So it looks like he has a fairly musical family. For instance, his dad was in a performance group called Stomp for a while. He and his friends set it up, and now he makes synth presets for Rector. Dwyer himself has always been interested in hip-hop and its production since his brother introduced him to Nas when he was 13. So I went ahead and asked him why Dwyer, and he says that Dwyer is his surname. He really wants to change the artist name because some people think it's how a 4-year-old says Dwyer. And also if you Google it, Bud Dwyer comes up, a guy who killed himself on TV. No good for my image, he says. Definitely not. I agree with that, man. So if you guys have any ideas as to what Dwyer should name himself next, then go ahead and drop some ideas down in the comments so we can have some fun with this. So he is constantly inspired by SoundCloud people who've been around the same amount of time as himself. For example, Boralism, Oko, Quickly, AJMW, just to name a few, as well as some more recent non-hip-hop influences like Home Shake, Steve Lacy, and Mild High Club. I've listened to Home Shake and Mild High Club. I have yet to check out Steve Lacy. I'm gonna do that as soon as I finish up here. Dwyer really isn't sure exactly how he got into music production, but his dad had Ableton and we was messing around with it, and he basically just got addicted right away. He wasn't really making hip-hop at the time though, it was more like synth stuff, and it quickly progressed into lo-fi hip-hop with his early online influences, just like the guys that we mentioned earlier. He's currently working on a project with more indie influences, and he's hoping to get some vocalists to work on them. So all my vocalists, if you're listening, then go ahead and hit Dwyer up. He's looking for you guys, and he says that the album is going to be a bit like K-Tronada's most recent album. So if you guys are trying to get an idea of what it's going to sound like, then go ahead and check that out. He sent me a picture of his cover art, and it's really, really dope. He has the photo over on his Dwyer art page. That's dwyer.art, and it's over on Instagram. So if you guys are on Instagram, then go ahead and check it out. His Instagram name is Barney Dwyer. Just Barney Dwyer. No punctuation, no symbols, none of that. This guy has a lot of really cool art. He's been painting his entire life, and he's only been doing collage art since he started beat making. He said that he's done covers for other people other than himself. That would include Kendall Miles, I Eat Plants for a Living, Radio.Waves, Fushu, and he says that a lot more that he can't really remember at the time. I went ahead and asked him exactly what it is that he does outside of his music production, and he says that he's on a fine art sculpture degree, but mostly he just does music. During the term time, he doesn't really have time for the music though, because the degree is pretty time consuming. I went and asked him if he's almost finished with the degree and when will we be receiving this album. And he says the degree should be done within 2 years, and he's not really sure about the album, hopefully before the end of August, because he does want to work with some vocalists and find a label so that they can release it proper. So some advice for the younger generation, the younger producers and underdogs of the lo-fi hip-hop scene. Mr. Dwyer says, I guess just keep on going. If you accept that you aren't going to be good when you first start, then you have way more of a drive to get better. And to that I say wisdom. So that knowledge and wisdom is coming to you from Mr. Dwyer, and that is going to conclude this segment and this episode of Wisdom TV. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks to Dwyer and to IndescribableINDY for letting me interview them and for taking the time out of their day to answer all of my questions. And I'm really looking forward to possibly working with you guys in the near future here. If you guys want to collaborate, then just go ahead and send me your stuff and we can get to working on some shit, man. I've already sent you guys my email, so go ahead and just send your shit whenever you guys need an extra ear or if you want to collaborate. I'm always open to that kind of stuff, guys. And that goes for everybody that I've already exposed here on Wisdom TV. Shout out to the Controllerized guys. Shout out to Leem Lizzy. Shout out to I Am Senpai. Shout out to Tapes, Mr. Wildflower, Nomadic. Shout out to Doc Guava for the amazing and mind-boggling visuals that he provided for us tonight on episode number 7. If you guys haven't checked out my Wisdom TV or my We Wisdom SoundCloud, then go ahead and check it out. I've got a few new posted tracks that I'm sure you guys will enjoy, that including the internal conflict track that I posted not too long ago. It's a MF Doom Figaro flip. So if you guys are into MF Doom and lo-fi hip-hop, then you guys will like that shit. So go ahead and navigate on over and show some love. I've also got a track called Dawn out that I think you guys will like. Also, go check out my newest track. It's called Warmth, and it's over on SoundCloud. I worked on this song for, I want to say, a year and kind of just put it off. And then I went ahead and just released it here on SoundCloud not too long ago. And it's one of my most listened to tracks, and I've listened to it quite a few times. I fucking love this song. I really want to get some vocals on it, so if you guys hear somebody on it, or if you know somebody that might want to sing on this track or might have something to put or add to it, then go ahead and shoot me a DM. Don't forget that I got a new album coming out, and it's going to be titled Experienced with 3 Eyes. That's going to be coming out towards the end of this year or maybe the beginning of next. It's just an EP, I want to say around 7-8 songs, but I'm almost halfway through it. I've just been focusing on Wisdom TV so often that, you know, it's kind of taking my time away from the music, but that's okay, because I'm pursuing what I really like to do, and I would advise you guys to do the same. Don't get stuck in the material grind. Try to take some time and really focus on what inspires you and what bewilders you, and once again, it'll probably take you wonderful places you'll never know unless you actually pursue it. Thanks to everybody who's checked out the podcast so far. I really love you guys, and thanks for sharing and following and liking and showing support. You guys and the musicians are what pushed me to continue this work, and I really appreciate the feedback that I've been getting recently. It's all really good feedback. And remember, I'm always open to constructive criticism. I'm trying to build Wisdom TV up and make it really interesting for you guys. I've got a lot of new content ideas that I'm sure you guys will enjoy. For example, I want to bring a radio station to Wisdom TV. I want to play some tracks on Instagram Live or on Periscope or some shit like that. Do a little mix of all of the tracks of all of the producers that I've exposed so far here on Wisdom TV, and, you know, kind of just pop in and out and make announcements and let you guys know what you're listening to and all that kind of stuff. So of course I would need permission from the actual artists to do that, to play their tracks and all that stuff. So if you guys are really interested in that, gentlemen, then go ahead and send me a DM, letting me know that it's okay for me to do that. And stay tuned for the next episode of Wisdom TV. I've got a few artists that I have in mind already, and the podcast episode should be coming to you guys sometime next week, probably at the end of the week. All right, everyone, I got to get the hell out of here and get some shut-eye. I've been working on this episode extensively tonight. So good night, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Y'all be safe.